Hello, my name is Alicia Van Duke. This is my AT evaluation and results project for EDIS 6410. And here is my presentation. So general information about the student that I did my AT assessment on. I just used abbreviations for most of it, except for his actual work, just as confidentiality. But BT is an 8-year-old male in third grade. He was last found eligible for special education services on 5/21/2016. And at that meeting, he was eligible under the category of developmental delay. However, he was first found eligible for services at the Early Learning Center, so he received early childhood services. He currently is receiving support within what we call our full instructional classroom setting, and that helps with his academic, social skills, attention focus, fine motor skills, and things like that. And so all of his core curriculum, so his reading, writing, and math, is provided within the full instructional classroom that I teach. And so we just did his most current evaluation back in November. And so he is currently eligible for special education services under the category of autism. Some background information about my student. When I conducted this AT assessment and for our reevaluation of the student, I interviewed and I worked with the school psych, the occupational therapist, the speech pathologist, his mother, obviously, and then the AT coordinator for our district. But just a little background information. BT really enjoys looking at books and having books read to him. He can currently read at a level A, which is a beginning kindergarten level, and he's able to read the book with 97% accuracy, but he has limited comprehension skills. In math, he knows how to count to 20, and he can represent numbers to 20, and he's working out of the kindergarten math program. And in writing, he really struggles to legibly write his name using a regular pencil, which I will show you some data in a little bit. He occasionally needs adult assistance he's pretty self-sufficient with being able to put clothes on at school, but sometimes he needs a little help orienting his clothes. He does really struggle to follow daily routines without adult prompting and assistance. With speech, he uses both verbal, nonverbal, and AAC to communicate. He does have a AAC device with lamp on it. And in terms of social and emotional learning, he's made a lot of progress this year with his ability to attend to tasks. However, he still continues to struggle with significant behaviors such as elopement, falling to the ground, inability to work when he is not regulated or not motivated. A little bit more background information. He understands simple one-step directions, but he does struggle with multi-step directions. And unfortunately, this picture did not show up, but it's just a picture of an AAC output communication device with lamp on it, which is just a visual picture system. And he is able to use verbal communication. However, sometimes if we can't understand him, we have him communicate through his device. And he speaks primarily in 2 to 3 word phrases, but he is really able to communicate clearly when something is highly motivating to him. The student's need, so some of his needs are being able to write legibly. He struggles with long and short-term memory. He was diagnosed with dysgraphia and dyslexia. He has a difficulty with expressive and receptive language. He does really struggle to follow directions and focus. He does have a little bit of ADD, especially once he gets riled up. It's very hard for him to kind of regulate his body. He's very startled by loud noises and he's easily distracted. Some of the environmental areas where assistive technology would be beneficial to BT is in all academic areas, so math, reading, and writing, even when he pushes into the gen ed setting. for science and social studies and specials. He struggles a lot with independent work, and he struggles a lot where written work is required. So for this project, after kind of looking at all of the students' needs and where the needs are most important for assistive technology, we kind of narrowed it down and wanted to just focus on one specific area for this project. And I focused on being able to copy his first and last names from a visual model because a lot of the other goals that he has or areas of need, we have already kind of brainstormed and implemented a lot of assistive technology for him to use. But with this goal, no real like assistive technology had been looked at. So this was an area where I felt it would be most beneficial for this class to conduct an AT assessment to see if we could help him improve his handwriting. Some existing supports and materials that were used just in the area of writing is his AAC device, Clicker 7, which is a writing software program, and then the use of adapted seating. So for this slide, this shows his current status and kind of some of the preliminary observations that I took on his handwriting. And so, as you can see, he really struggles with writing legibly, and he has very low muscle tone. So when just using a pencil, he doesn't put a lot of pressure on it, so you can't really see his handwriting. But as you can see, there, it looks kind of a lot like scribbles. And part of that is he hasn't really been instructed on how to write his name. He didn't have the necessary AT tools in place, and he is very motivated by external reinforcers. So for this particular lesson, I don't think he was the most motivated externally or internally. Here is just a video of my student writing his name on the whiteboard. And he actually does a pretty good job with writing his name, as you can see, because I have him practice writing on the whiteboard because he does have very low muscle tone. So I just want him to get a lot of repetition and practice with being able to write his name. So here's the video.
Right, Taurus. Over here. That's not your science folder. You're missing science.
So as you can see, he copies it from a model, and he can do it from memory, but for this particular activity, we were having him do it from the whiteboard. And as you can see, he still struggles to form like his R's, his E's, and his S's. But for the majority of it, it's way, way better than what he originally did over here, which is just scribbles. And then the next two slides also show, let me delete that part. Oops. This slide shows an example of his current writing, and this is with the use of assistive technology implemented. So for this one, he wrote on a slant board with a number 1 pencil and a grip on the pencil. So as you can see, it's getting way more legible. You can actually see him forming the letter E. Here's his J and his I. And then his R's got a little bit better when he got to use these boxes to use too, kind of little visual outline for him to stay within. Especially that S too is really good. And then for this one, it's another example. This one, I had him do it with just the slant board and the number 1 pencil and no grip. So as you can see, I think it's a little bit better when he's able to use a grip, but I just wanted to try some different AT to see which one would be the most beneficial for Benji. So when I was first doing my research, I was looking at a variety of tools that I could use with BT to help him improve his writing. The first recommendation was to use an adapted pencil. And for this particular student, we chose the Twist and Write pencil. It's designed for a child's hand, and it really helps the student be able to hold the pencil correctly. It's affordable. It easily teaches correct pencil grip hold, which is another area where BT struggles. Sometimes he'll just grab it and fist the pencil. Some cons is it's not reusable. Once the lead is out, you just have to throw it away. Uh, it can be only used as a pencil, so it doesn't come in the form of a crayon or with markers, and it's a one size fits all. My second recommendation would be adapted paper, which is bright lines, raised line paper. And now that I think about it too, on top of adapted paper, I really liked the boxes that you saw over here because that kind of gives him a visual boundary of how to write his name. Pros of this is it's affordable and it has visual and tactile cues for him. Cons is it's non-reproducible due to the raised line, so once it's out, you just have to order more from the company. My third recommendation is a pencil grip, which the one that I researched was a writing claw grip. It's a great new grip that naturally places fingers in a functional tripod grasp. And it's nice too because it can work with all writing utensils, and there's multiple sizes depending on the hand size, and again, it's not very expensive. The one con though that it doesn't help with pencil grip or grip strength and like pencil pressure, which is something that my student really needs. And then the fourth recommendation is a slant board, and the particular one in this picture is a better board slant board, a lot of B's. It's used for writing or holding materials to copy. Some of the pros is that it's easily portable, it's affordable, it has non-slip feet so it won't slip and move around when the student's trying to write. The one con of this particular AT tool is that you can't adjust the angle of the surface. And then here's just kind of a list of resources based on my recommendations and where I got them from. And then just some final thoughts. Just with implementing the boxed paper, so the adapted paper, and the use of a slant board, my student's handwriting and his legibility was greatly improved. Even if I go back real quick and show you what it previously looked like, that was with no accommodations. You can tell it's just scribbles, and then the huge difference, now you can actually see letter formations and him actually being able to write his name. And the reason I really wanted to focus on his handwriting, not so much that I'm going to require him to write all sentences very legibly, but as a life skill, it's important that he's able to write his name so that he can sign for documents, and when he gets older, and this will help with independence and hopefully him being able to participate more within society.